Boom. Good morning, good morning, good morning. Welcome to another edition of the Brothers of
What's
Legacy.
up?
This is going to be amazing conversation today.
Yeah.
Uh,
If you guys
and
see me,
and
it's on Monday or
make
Thursday.
sure you share. Sharing is caring. All
For sure.
my podcast people, thank you for listening.
Yeah.
Rate and review. Let us know what you think of this episode as well. Um, and what can I say? Uh,
Okay,
Hope all is
Stacey.
well with everybody.
Yeah.
What more can I say?
Okay.
All right.
Yeah. What's up, y'all?
So let's get on, kick this off. Let's get busy.
Let's
We'll be
go.
right back. I didn't want to catch
Good
that
morning,
first.
good morning,
Good
good
morning. Good morning. Welcome to another edition of Good Morning. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. What's up, everybody? All right. All right.
What's going
Welcome
on?
once again
Hey,
to another
Mama
edition.
McCory.
Mama McCory in the building. Great morning to you. Great morning to you.
How's you doing?
All right. So, like I
Hey,
said,
Pastor Big Mac, before we get started, I
yeah.
tried to text Auntie so I get a couple of them bracelets. She left me hanging.
Huh?
I was like,
You said
Auntie,
you tried to text on Sam and get bracelets, and what happened?
she left me hanging. She said,
Oh, what's
text me.
this? She jumped on here this morning.
Yeah, I gotta get I said, because you told me you text me. I texted her and I know anything. I want a bracelet. I want a tiger eye. I'm just saying.
All right. Let's see. I'm sharing. Sorry, guys. Sharing is caring. Sharing is
That's
caring.
what we do over here. Yeah. Let's share that.
All right. Facebook doesn't want me to be great right now. All right. So, um, as you can see, we're talking about this dating and sex have to be
Anonymous.
synonymous.
Mm.
And I mean, this conversation started from I can't even remember what it started from. What got me got me into the
Yeah.
conversation because I got another quote, but that's not even the main reason that I got. I just happened upon it, which I posted yesterday to get people's response. Good morning, V. Good morning. Good morning,
Hey,
Atlas. Good morning, my friend.
Apples, I
Atlas,
haven't seen you forever. What's up,
what's your name, Atlas? I don't think I know
Being
your
that we're,
government. What's
yeah,
your
being that we're
government?
swapping over here at the end of the month, you might want to, hey, Mimosa.
Oh, hey, Mimosa, thank you for rocking with us. Cole Johnson in the building. Great morning to you. So my first question, the easy, obvious, um, and then we'll dig into the weeds of it. Um, is
Yeah.
dating and sex synonymous? Meaning,
What's
is
up,
it
Cole?
an expectation that sex is to happen when dating is occurring? Now, of course, we know biblically the sins of it when you're not married. So
Yes.
we all should know that part.
Yeah.
But what is your opinion, especially just what's going on, the climate of just I mean, nothing ain't changed other than our
Yeah.
communication, but
Yeah. Yeah.
and the way we connect. We connect a lot faster than we did back in the day.
E Trouble in the building. What's up, man?
What's going on,
What's up,
fellas?
E? Good morning, man. Good morning. Just a real quick reset. You're watching the Brothers of Legacy. To my left, right is my brother Terry Little. Right below me is my brother Ephraim Terrell. And diagonally is my brother Pastor Brian McCory in the building.
The
All right.
grenade launcher. That's what we got.
Preacher extraordinaire over
So I'm all right. So I'm gonna start with my left,
God
right,
be the
Terry.
glory.
Yes, indeed.
He's in the
Yes,
building.
indeed.
What's
So
up?
what's your feeling about dating and sex? Is it synonymous? Is it different? Um, does it go hand in hand? All right, here we go.
So before I get started and answer that question, I want to say this is that the opinions that come out of my mouth aren't
Uh-oh.
the perspective of the Brothers of Legacy, just so you guys know that as a group. Um, for me, it was in my younger years, it was because everything that I did surrounded the physical. If I took somebody out, it was synonymous. My mindset when I was younger was that's two sides of the menu,
Right.
right? There's two sides of the menu. One, the appetizers and the salads and such, stay over there, you good. I'm not looking for anything. But if you go to the other side of the menu, you get your entrees and your steaks and stuff like that. Then we gotta talk. But so when I was younger, it was synonymous. Now that I'm older, and a little bit more mature, it's not. It is. It shouldn't be synonymous. I guess it's according to the person and how they see things. It's on someone's personal maturity level, I think.
Right.
Just me.
So that's foolery.
What's foolery?
Absolutely not.
What I just said, or everything come out my mouth. I know. I'm sorry.
No, I mean which part? I was just wondering which part.
All right. Miss Owen says, "Great topic. Thank you."
Hey Shay,
rocking with us. Okay.
I'm not sure where you came from, but thank you for coming. If you're first time,
I thought you knew Shay.
Nah. Thank you though.
She's from Facebook. She's connected to somebody, or
so it's probably
just dropped in. We appreciate you. Mo said, absolutely not. Just because I date you does not dictate that we will be having sex. Exclamation point. Just for my podcast people.
How many of them was it 1 point or 2 points?
All right, Pastor. How do you what's your take on it?
Denzel did a movie, Man on Fire.
Yes, sir.
And there's a scene where he's about to kill a man.
Right.
He has a timer set on a bomb that's inside the man's cavity.
Correct. Yes, sir.
And Denzel says to the man, I wish we had more time.
I'll tell you.
So my response to that is, I wish we had more time. Listen, I have 4 daughters, man. And growing up, I did not have that expectation.
Okay.
I didn't have the expectation. I was weird as a teenager, but I didn't have the expectation that a date equated to sex. That was not my expectation at all. Awesome. Not even close.
Okay.
So I would say no, it's not an expectation.
Okay.
I went through a season where, you would want it.
Okay.
But I was never of the mindset that because we're going out. I'm sorry?
That was me. Sorry.
I've never lived under the expectation that because we go out on a date,
right,
I'm supposed to get some. That's never been my mindset.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
That was me.
Awesome. All right.
That's my testimony.
Good morning, Mark. Good morning, Mark.
Hey, bro.
Ephraim, my brother. Good morning. What's up, sir?
That doesn't mean I wasn't a hound. I'm just saying that was never my expectation.
I got you. When you go out, I got you. It doesn't mean it wasn't in you. It just, when you went out, that wasn't where you started off at, in a sense.
That's not. Yeah, even that was never. It's never been my expectation.
Okay.
But that does not. There are many ways to be a hound without thinking you're getting sex on the first date or on a date.
Right.
Yeah.
Mr. Goodson, good morning, sir. I was just about to check you if you want you on the other side of the screen.
Hey, be killing me, baby. Let me in the comments. Get in here, boy.
Either what's your
you see how Sam responded to you, Terry?
Huh? I did. I saw it. Yeah, I just saw that.
All right.
E, what's your take? Is it synonymous, dating and sex? Oh man, can't hear you.
He's muted.
Or is it me? All right. While we wait,
looks like he's not muted. Hey, Willette. Good morning to you.
We're good on my side. You look like you're clear. Willette, good morning. Good morning.
I can't hear.
Nope.
Oh, we can't hear Ephraim?
No, not yet. All right. So you working on it. Technical difficulty. There you go.
There you go.
Oh, okay. Hey, so could you clarify for me? Are we talking first dates?
Yeah, I'm. Let's start from beginning.
Yeah. Okay. Pre-salvation. Before the
Yeah.
I was. There was some I was catching the vibe before.
Right.
Like I've made the assessment in my mind whether it's going down or not, based off of what you've been giving me leading up to the first date.
Mm.
It's ultimately always on the woman if she wants to take it there. And as I got older, I found out that I didn't have as much game as I thought. That women aren't as stupid as I thought, and everything that's happening, they're in full control and know what's happening.
Right.
Nothing caught them off guard.
Yeah.
It wasn't no secret kiss on the neck that just make them know. If she wants to, it's because she wants to.
Right.
So for me, I had it in the back of my mind, and there's times where I just told myself, "Nah, it's not happening," and pre-salvation, it happened. So I think it's always that elephant in the room.
Right.
I think it's always that pressure.
Right.
She doesn't want to be perceived as a
I got you.
hope,
Yeah.
lack of brother legacy terms.
Lucy.
Lose,
Yeah.
harlot, a streetwalker. So she don't want to be perceived that way. He don't want to come on too strong and blow it because he knows if he's patient, it will happen. But the pressure that women put on men sometimes is if he plays the gentleman role and doesn't do it, well, he gay. Why he ain't tried nothing? What kind of man gonna sit here? You see this outfit I got on, and he went. And then if he do try something, how you see me? What you think I ain't? Like it's a balancing act. So you got to kind of go as it goes.
Yeah.
But this happened at times I didn't expect it, and then me, I never forced the issue. I'm a patient brother, but I think synonymous maybe in the fact that at least it's on the minds.
Right.
Yeah.
I've gone on dates and women told me like, hey, you're not getting nothing tonight. Like it's like they like so that's without me making any kind of advance.
Right.
That was just the preamble. Like, hey, listen, I'll be ready at 7:30. And by the way, it just was like
yeah.
just so you know what I mean. So it's
that's going down.
I would say it's synonymous, man, because it's the question that everybody's trying to answer. It's the pressure, it's the build up, and obviously we as we got older, everybody now knows the. Sex is for grown folks, man. Like, you don't know what you're doing.
Right.
You don't know what's going on. You just, like a little rabbit over there. So it's just, it's sex can really mess things up. And as much as it can mess things up, it seems to be the entire focus of what mostly the young men, but it seems to be the entire pressure on top of the date. Right. So now she got to make sure she don't say nothing that's too forth-telling that makes me think like she can't lead me down the wrong path. So here we are trying to get to know one another,
right.
And she got to watch what she say. We got to play these games, all that kind of stuff.
Right.
So
there's some vultures out here, that's for sure, and that's they're sitting there listening, going,
right.
Wait, what's the key word? The invite of the day is sponsored by the letter A. You don't want that.
Absolutely. And don't make it a small college campus. And you went out with my homeboy, and y'all did that, and everybody know it. 2 years later, now here I am, guilty by association. Oh, because I was with Mark. Now he think all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
Right.
So it's a lot of pressure, man.
Yeah.
All right, let me hit up some of these comments.
Shay
said you said more dates with men because I didn't want them to think they were getting sex afterwards. As I began to find my real authentic voice, I was direct where I was in life, and celibacy during those times were important to me. First date, especially when sparks fly, it's important not to allow the private areas to speak first. Those got you in trouble.
Come on through here, Shay.
Usually women know before the first day if they're giving it up.
Absolutely.
Giving it the goods.
Please know that. Yeah.
Lady McCory, great morning. Yes, rocking with the brothers.
Morning.
100E, women just know if they want to take it to an intimate level more innately than a man does. Sean Rollins says friend zone. Some women only want sex. I believe dating and sexual energy is synonymous. Obviously, none of us would date a woman unless we were physically attracted to her before the first date. Truth in that. I've been married so long I can't add nothing to this conversation. I'm just going to sit and learn. Single folks go through our days. That's my man from way back high school. All right, good morning. We're going to Kev. On the other hand, sex should be out of the picture if you want a full healthy relationship. A healthy relationship. Yes, indeed. It was always a hunting expedition.
Always.
That's the problem. Maturity and salvation lets us all know that it can't be synonymous with one another. Oh, it said say it, Jay.
telling
So let me ask this.
Yeah.
Because Pastor said something, going back to Pastor, he's always my controversial, hit him right in the gut kind of dude.
He pulled
So,
the pin. He don't care.
but this one wasn't bad. It's kind of, he kind of mentioned it, kind of glazed over, but
Yeah.
he was saying the intentions when you date, right? And we talked about, he said, are you out there to play or are you out there to, I guess, get married? And correct me if I'm saying it wrong. But would you say it's kind of almost both, meaning you going
No,
out?
really, it's not.
Okay.
I didn't mean to cut you off.
No, go ahead. Go ahead.
What I said was, the objective should be
Right.
you date in the direction that you hope to marry,
Right.
Okay.
right? It makes no sense to date someone that you know you would never marry.
Hey, Cheryl, good morning.
Okay.
However, curiosity is such that I won't know unless I take them, unless we go out.
That's good.
Right? Controversial corner. Yeah.
Guys, can you clarify something for me? Are you saying you only date the person you think you're gonna marry, or the potential?
Well, I'm saying logic would have it that I'm going to date in the direction I want to marry.
Okay.
Right.
But
Because if I'm going to try something, I'm going to try something to see if it becomes something larger, something deeper, something more. So you typically want to date in the direction that you're going to marry. In other words, you're not going to, it makes no sense to date someone that you know you would never marry.
Right.
Okay.
What is the motive? And the point is, for some people, the motive is just that there's a physical attraction, but not an emotional one, not a spiritual one. And people are okay with that.
Right.
Right. I mean, we all grown, and I know there are plenty of people who wanted to hit and quit.
yeah.
That's real. Right. And so when I was saying that what should be the case is that you date in the direction that you hope to marry. That's the point that I was trying to make. And I think AD was asking, is it the same? And my point is, it's not the same, because you can go out on a date with somebody where you have one single purpose in mind.
Yeah.
You see them, you like them, you'd never marry them. They'll never go home and meet your parents, but
Never.
you got to get it.
Right.
Right. But like, I wasn't, like, sometimes I wouldn't even dating. Like, if I date you, well, that's what I don't know. Like, what I'm saying is this. Sometimes, man, this is a really hard
I
thing.
love you, bro. That's why
You come off a certain way. Like, they won't feel you. Like, I'm trying to be real about my mindset, but also, like, I wasn't dating myself. Some women was with this too. And like, I'm telling you, what I come to find is, like, I wasn't fooling them like I thought. Like,
Yeah.
you saw through what I said. You know what I'm saying? I wasn't like a horrible guy per se. But I was kind of like, my whole thing was this: if the more upfront I am, the more I got to disappoint you on the back end. Like, in high school, I did the whole "let me start an argument so we can break up" thing. Like, I got over that quick. Like, that's like, no, let me tell you up front where I'm at with it, so that we can end. And like, that's why I stayed off social media for so long, because some of the people who I was friendly with, we stayed friendly even at the end of things. You feel what I'm saying? Because the way I handled it. So that would have been hard for my wife. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
With all these encounters, sitting here talking about what's up, my buddy and friend and all that. Like,
Yeah.
So the intention up front, if we let it be known, like, and I hear what Pastor's saying with dating with intention, but like, if you let it be known up front, that, hey, I'm not doing anything serious. This is what this is. Even if it's just social, even before it becomes sexual.
Right.
This is just social for me. I've been in the house. I've been working all week. I'm getting out tonight, and I want to know if you're getting out with me. So I'm letting you know up front that it's going no further than this. And Pastor, but I am saying, even if she comes back and replies, okay, but you're not getting none, fine. Yeah. It's a date, but it's going nowhere. It's intentional.
I was on I lived in LA, and me and my mom I just shared this story with my mom about 2 weeks ago. I remember a time, it was crazy because I was driving home on the 405 from the Valley to my mom's house. I was a single parent, and I'm on the 405. Traffic is crazy, and some lady pulls up on the freeway next to me, honks her horn. She's honking the horn. She's asking me to put my window down, and she asked me for my phone number. She says, "Hey, I'm a flight attendant for United Airlines. I'm heading out of town now. I'll be back on, Friday. Give me a call."
Now that's pimping. No,
Just at the light?
No, on the freeway.
never happened to me.
The freeway.
You had to be doing
On the
at least 70 on the freeway. Boy, you wasn't looking good that day. Huh?
And so I'm like, and she was
Watch out now. Watch out now.
right. And so I obviously I give her my number. We exchange numbers on the highway, and I go and the weekend comes and she calls me and said, "Hey, let's hook up. After work, I'm available." I'm like, "Cool," And so I tell my mom, like, "Hey, mom, got a date. Right. Can you keep the kids for me?" Right. She's like, "Yeah, sure." I go pick the sister up. We go out, have dinner, go back to her spot. We go in, and she immediately, lifts up my shirt, and she says, "I want to see your 6-pack." Right? And I'm like, "Well, it's like a 4-pack."
First of all,
yeah.
But what happens is, my mom wants me to get home. Okay. And it's clear to me that this sister wants to get out. This is day one. And she's like rubbing my stomach, and she changes her clothes, puts on little flimsy shorts and all this kind of stuff. And my mom is blowing, but back then all you had was a pager. And my mom is blowing my pager up.
That's got pager.
Right. Like, you need to get home and get these children. Right. And I leave, right? And I'm like, "Listen, I gotta go. My mom's blowing me up. I gotta get home to my children." And she's like, "Oh, wow, you can't stay." I'm like, nope. You don't understand. I am not gonna hear this. I will hear the end of this. So I leave, right? Mm-hmm. And I call her back a couple of days later, and she's like, done. Right? She's done because the only purpose was to have sex in between flights while she was off.
Yeah.
Wow. Yeah.
You understand? Like, there was no interest at all. It was just like, I said, "Oh man, he looked good. Hey, that's my next appointment."
Right.
Why
In
is that a
between
surprise,
when I'm off shift.
Why is that a surprise to people? People, I've been listening to y'all, and first of all, y'all been doing y'all thing. But why is that a surprise? People act like this isn't everyday life for most people. This is not new.
Right. That's right. That's the point. Is like, some people, it's just, some people they're bored and they want to get out, get away from the house, break up the monotony. Some people, they're horny, they want to get laid, and they don't want any commitments.
Right.
That's just, that's just, it is, right?
Yeah.
Because I remember being a young soldier. And every single time I went out, it was for one purpose.
Yeah. You were headhunting.
Yeah, and that was the thing. Like, some people, especially women, when I was coming up, especially women, they went out together in a group, and they were over there, they danced together, they had their little drinks, and it was cool. Yeah. I went out because I didn't want to be lonely that night, so I had to go pick something up. Yeah. And when it didn't work, oh well, I struck out. Like, I had a motto: all I need is one person to say yes.
But D, let me throw something on you though. When you got serious about dating or serious about seeing somebody, and this goes to something else too. I haven't necessarily had a lot of people by title as my girlfriend. But D, when you got serious about somebody, did you date them differently?
Oh, absolutely. Everybody knew who she was. Everybody knew what she was to me, what I wanted from her. It was because before, I didn't call it dating. Let me make that part clear. I didn't call it dating until you was like, you fit the category of what I wanted. When you fit the category of what I wanted, we was dating. Yeah. If you wasn't a woman that could meet my mama, no, we was just chilling.
Yeah, that's all that was. Exactly. Hey, real quick, let me catch up on some of these comments in AD's absence real quick. I can't pull the comments up. I'm just going to read them. Okay. So Cole says, our new segment, the controversial corner with Pastor Brown and Corey. We're gonna
Absolutely.
Pull the pin corner. And Shay said, "Some date for sport, some date for purpose." That was me. Great comment, Shay.
It's all about maturity. It's all about maturity. Maturity
Yeah.
answers and determines that statement that she just made.
Yeah. Mimosa says, "We all date with intention." Cheryl says, "Motive is the driving force." Mimosa says, "He had a call." Cheryl's, yes. People's, it's the hunt, and the thrill for men is to seek and the chill for women. Times are changing, though. The new generation is creepy, but I'm getting married. Who am I to comment? Who am I to judge? Right, Kevin? I got you, man. Cheryl says, "Truth." Cole said, "Many people in dating are like James Brown. When he wants a band to end the song, can I hit it again?" That's a boy, I tell you. Shay says, "People need to be careful because the person gives off that we just click vibe. It's a familiar feeling that feels good. You're dating familiar spirits."
Yes.
Yeah, that's good. Who was Shay?
Shay isn't. I'm not
Somebody
sure.
new just dropped in on us.
Shay,
Tell me where you saw us at.
welcome to the brothers, Shay.
Yeah, welcome though.
Welcome. Good comments, man.
Auntie said, "That's just a plain male whore. Don't get it twisted."
That's very true. Hey, look, Auntie telling the truth, because I'll tell y'all hear me all the time. During the days that I was a hoe, I used to be a hoe.
That's crazy.
Auntie, I want home by myself.
Cheryl says, "Honestly, it's still the best policy." Shay says, you must know you first." I always say that. I've said that a million times. You must know you first so that you don't fall victim to the great words that make you feel good. Actions speak louder than those words.
Oh, you going backwards. I'm trying to figure out what you was doing for a second.
Who, me?
Yeah, I was like, there's no more comments down here.
No, I'm just reading. I'm reading from the top because I can't. I'm not in 80s account. I can't show the comments. I'm just reading them. Gotcha. Let's see. And First Lady said, "You can go on a date and not marry that person. It's just a date. However, you decide to continue dating a person you normally have intentions to see if there's a potential for a serious relationship."
Yeah, and at that time, because I was a responsible dater. At that time, I would come back to that person and say, "Listen,
that's the key.
This is changing up. That's changing up. Blah blah blah." And if the person come to me and say the same thing, fine. You don't have. I wasn't saved, but you don't have to be immature with it. You understand when you're dealing with people's hearts, feelings, and all. But we're gonna have to come back to the drawing board if something changed up.
Yeah, they did.
Absolutely.
So Cole said, "When I got divorced, I peeped so many women who thought like men. I turned down dates with women knowing it was going nowhere before we even shared a meal."
Yep.
Good stuff. People said, "I feel you, E. I cut them off though. Once I found my fiance Jen, I was good, and they had to know. Don't hide friend me or big head.
Hey, I'm mad at you."
Good.
Yeah, all that's cold word.
It's called Cole and People's. I'm talking about Pastor Brian, freeway pimping. That was pretty dope. Auntie said, "Marriage will be a great life if men and women would just put sex on the back burner."
You talking right?
Look, can we talk about that for a second?
That's it right there.
Yeah,
I've been married multiple times, and you guys know my story. Some of you don't, okay? But let me tell you something. One of the things that I learned that was probably the most important lesson is when you start a relationship and that relationship is built off of sex, right, I'm willing to put my life on it. I'm willing to put my life on it that it is doomed to fail. Sex gets old. Sex, granted, you still enjoy it, but there comes a point where sex doesn't hold the same value as when you first have it. Mm-hmm. And if that's all you got, I'm sorry, there's nothing left to build on. Right. There's absolutely nothing to build on. So I tell people all the time, you have to build your relationship on something that you can continue to build on.
Right.
Yeah. I believe in great sex. I believe.
What's up, Quinn?
The connection. Hey, what's up, Quinn? I believe in the connection that it gives you and your wife. But like to D's point, like if that's it, and you know what, if that's it for anything, like a marriage needs to have a balance.
It's got to be a balance.
Like if I'm chasing the dollar, if it ain't even sex, then I'm off balance.
Right.
I'm making all this money. I'm working 9 to 12 every day. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like I'm doing all this, I'm providing, but you at the house lonely like crazy. Then somebody come tell you they like your nails and you leave me. You feel me?
Yeah.
It needs to be a balance. And if I just come lay it down, then bounce again, that's not even balance. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
I don't want to undervalue sex.
Right.
I appreciate the connection.
Right.
It's like D saying, it just can't be that. And it definitely has to be in an order. It can't go first. If that's what we're talking about, it's going to throw and confuse. Because there's a couple people I thought I loved, come to find out.
Come on, sir.
After about 3 months of not getting it, I didn't love them. You know what I'm saying?
At all. Yeah.
It's very confusing.
And I don't know how transparent you guys are about certain areas, but there's certain things that are part of my story, a part of what God put in me. So I put it out there. We've all been in a place. Well, let me speak for me. Then if it resounds, then you can echo. There's times where my marriage, my past marriage, was on its last leg, you know? And then I go put it down one time and we good for about a month. And then
you get a reset.
Everything starts to spin out again.
Right.
Yeah.
Then I put it down real good. You go overboard. You pull out every trick you got. My ex told me, she was like, one of the reasons why I couldn't leave you was because of that. And then she said, I got to the point where I realized that that's not enough to make me happy.
Right.
So I'm telling you guys, you think that you putting it down, you think that just because your stroke game's like that,
man, forget
you ain't gonna have no issues and you're gonna continue to be in that toxic relationship.
Right.
Eventually, it's not enough.
Right.
And if there's nothing else, you, my friend, are in trouble.
Yeah. Hey. And she said it. Shay said it too. Like, you like, okay, in relationship, when, like I said, we talking sex, but I'm talking everything. Dwayne said this a few shows ago about like when you start conversations, you have to define stuff. This man to my left is obviously defining relationships different. No, I should say dating different. So if he meets somebody that says dating is this, you get what I'm saying? And her definition of dating is a little bit more serious, a little bit more committal. And his is very casual. Let me get to know you, see how it turned out. Right. When he doesn't call her the next day. Right. You know, I grew up in Florida. Flies told us we can't call y'all for 2 days. We gotta let y'all mind wander. You know, and I ain't gonna tell you what Trick Daddy told me. So we get all these wrong definitions, and I'm going off this definition, you going off this definition. Shay was talking about it too. Even sex got to be talked about.
It's got to be
because if a dude say, okay, she want me just to be monogamous, have sex with her, he think he fits to get it all the time. She just nigga, no, I'm not asking for too much, not to sleep with everybody. Like, you get what I'm saying? Like, it's you have to talk about every single thing, and you should do it with everybody, but especially when you talk about somebody you serious with, even in business, So Terry wanting the show to go syndicated. AD like, nah, let's just stay ground level. Let's touch the people. Right. But y'all, you see what I'm saying? So you got to talk about it. So you cannot escape explanation, explaining, intentionality, because y'all can get rid of a lot of drama. We all can get rid of a lot of drama in our life if we just talked up front.
Open your mouth.
Oh, no, I was gonna date you for about 2 months, then leave. Oh, okay, then. Well, I guess we in this right now, then.
Hey, AD, man, the comment section is lit, bro.
Yeah, I'm gonna put up a few. I'm gonna put up.
Goodness gracious, y'all like to talk about sex, don't it? Goodness.
Right.
Hey, salt and pepper when you need them.
Right.
Salt and pepper.
He said it's okay to choose about sex necessary. Let's admit no one likes bad sex and build your foundation on solid ground.
You ain't lying about that.
I don't want to get them kind of chances. So let's build something, and then if it's bad going in, then what it is what it is. Build something.
To me, like kind of what Dwayne was saying in the sense where, well, let me read this first. You must build an intense friendship with your wife. Everything else comes from the foundation. Exactly, sex and love. Making is the difference between dating and married. He said
kind of the same thing
because she may enjoy it rough. Start out with a relationship with what you want to last for a lifetime. Dating means getting to know people. The boundaries of knowing a person is what's blurry for people.
Right.
People must know also who know that with. I know she changed it. Did she correct that? SSI. She was trying to auto-correct it. I can't remember which. But many women being sexually abused, sex isn't necessarily look at this at the same. Yeah. So sex needs to be talked about. Talk
you know,
about it.
the thing I've heard, the thing I ran into is when you try to talk about sex, some people can't have that conversation maturely. Right.
Yeah.
And so there are some people that say, "Oh, the first thing you bring up is sex on the first date." What? Like, you know, we can't have that conversation maturely. So it's
you should already know then.
Exactly. That's your answer. So if you go to someone and you want to have that conversation, so the response is that. For me, I'm not even gonna bother with it.
I mean, like, what's the level of conversation that we're talking about?
I mean, we're talking about, you know, what's your intent? I mean,
intentions.
Yeah,
intentions. Yes, yes, it is.
Simply, what's your intention?
Not even just intention for the night. You mean like for the term of the relationship? You saying, T?
Yeah. I mean, let's put this in some kind of spectrum. That's you know, let's kind of put it out there.
You don't want to waste your time.
I don't want to do it.
So let's talk about what I want, what you want, and if we're on the same page.
That's it. But see, here's the thing, is that that's why I thank God every day that I'm married, because the younger me was like, I don't care, you know, because I just want to get it done. I want to do some stuff when I have fun, you know. But now that I'm more mature, and like I said earlier, I was a little bit more mature than then. Now it's like, I can't do it. It's like when I first started dating Melissa, we dated long distance. Okay. And we still had that conversation. Like, what's the intention? What we doing?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
I mean, like, so what I ask is, is it the first time, or is it like we clicking, we vibing about third or fourth, like, you know, what's your intent? Where do you want to go with this? You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah, where we going?
Or because the first time is always, it could be like a high. You know, like we're just enjoying because you're together, whatever. About the third or fourth, you've seen each other enough where it can seem a little more real, I guess. You know, I guess for lack of a better way of putting it.
But y'all were more gentlemen than I was, because by the third or fourth time,
but though, like, these some, I don't want to call them out because they wives on the line. These some men up there too. But I'm talking when you talking about somebody serious though. Like, you know, Dwayne was on that where we was on, you know, I got a whole apartment because upperclassmen told me that's how you get girls. So, and I've been working 40 hours ever since listening to that foolishness. I should have stayed playing ball, stayed in the dorms. So that's how much I was trying to please that. So I don't think it does women the same. And I know that's going to fire something up, but it doesn't do women the same. But men, I wake up thinking about it.
Yeah.
You get me? So like, it drives us more crazy than it does them. But I think that's what he's talking about, and being intentional and mature. I'm with talking about sex on the first date. If you have to put it like this with the intro, listen, I know you ain't giving me none tonight. I ain't trying to come at you funny. I just want to have a little conversation. Blah, blah, blah. What do you think about this?
Can I tell you why you're right, sir? Can I tell you why you're right?
All right.
What was the first commandment that God ever gave to man? What was the first thing that God ever talked about with man? The first thing. No, it wasn't work. It wasn't work. Go back and read Genesis 1:27.
Okay.
The first thing God ever said to man, be fruitful and multiply. That was the very first thing God ever said to man. But this conversation is the conversation we have the least. Why is that? And is that part of the reason why we struggle in certain areas? The first thing that God ever told us was about, I mean, I'm pretty sure that it was dual purposes. It was the physical and the spiritual.
Right.
But you can't be fruitful or multiply without having that physical intimacy. Yeah. But that's one of the least things on our conversation table. And it's what causes us the most pain and the most hurt. And it's why the church is full of divorce. Okay. And it's why so many of us are broken sexually, because we don't identify these things and we don't talk about it. So you're absolutely right. I think if it's the first thing that God talked to us about, I think somewhere in the line, it should be a comfortable conversation.
Yeah, I think the church think that if we're gonna talk about it, it's gonna encourage you to do it. But like this generation, don't talk about it if you want to. They'll be like, all right, well, Pastor, Pastor ain't want to talk about it, so let me go to YouTube right quick. Like, you know what I'm saying? They're gonna get the information. So let me get in there and control the information. Same thing with the dating. Like, if I don't want this to go bad, if I don't want, because when you have an expectation and I don't meet it, and vice versa, it's gonna cause a serious rift. Like, I'm gonna be let down in a very funny kind of way, and it's gonna have me feeling the way to you. And I'm still not saying we play sex super high, but this goes for what I'm trying to say. You say it, you have to have the conversation about everything, no matter what. Y'all need to talk about money. What is person doing? You know, like if we're serious and we're dating, and I'm like, hey, look, man, I'm not feeling school. I'm about to drop out and do me a detailing business. You need to know that because you're about to marry a college dropout. You feel what I'm saying? Like, whatever I got going on, and I do understand everything might be a little too much on the first date.
First date.
I don't need to know your mom.
I mean,
I don't need to know your nasty habits. I don't need to know your
none of them.
But there are a few things that we need to cover on the first date, and that's gonna be that's a great area because everybody gonna feel something different.
I mean, because I'm
crazy. Yeah, the reality is, but that's why we get in trouble because we go too deep on the first date.
Yeah,
I think it's important. You know, the first date. You know, I mean, what's your favorite color? What movies do you like? What songs do you listen to?
Let's keep it general.
You know, I mean,
first date.
She don't got to tell me how nasty she get with it, but y'all can talk about some intentionality. Like, look, for me, sex is like a every other week thing. I don't blah blah blah. I'm not. For me, I spend my money on this. I'm not saying show me a bank statement, but there are some things.
It's a different world.
Surface.
Yeah,
it's a different world today, though, because what's happening is a lot of people are getting to know each other online. They're texting, they're snapping, they're doing all these things, and they're getting all those questions answered. So when you actually get together, what's left except to get intimate, you know? And I think that's one of the challenges with today's with the evolution of technology. Right, we find out everything we need to know about a person just by scrolling through their timeline, looking at their picture.
She's gonna Google you too,
right?
Yeah, every woman in this chat session right now, they Google their dates. I guarantee it. I want one of them tell me that.
Everybody does. Yeah. Society now, you better. I mean, because you don't know.
I mean, granted, like, why wouldn't you use the tools in front? I would do the same just to.
But you
on a federal watch list or something.
Hey, can I share something with y'all? We sit here and act like times change stuff so much. It changes a little bit. See, I got an 80-year-old mama now who has Alzheimer's, and that's a gift and a curse at the same time. You want to know why it's a gift and a curse? It's a gift and a curse because the things that my mom used to remember, these are secrets I'm not supposed to tell anybody about. She don't remember to keep those things secrets no more. So my mama's telling me how my sisters, my older siblings, my aunties, all of them was, and all the stuff they used to. She tells me stories about they at the juke joint outside in the car with the other sister watching to make sure the brothers don't come out the club. There's stories about them being at work on the farm, cropping tobacco, and if you from the South, they say putting in tobacco. Terry know what I'm talking about. So if you put in tobacco, and you got a couple people at the tobacco barn, and you got another lookout because 3 people up at the tobacco barn do it. We ain't doing nothing that y'all ain't did. You just found different ways of doing it, different pieces of technology to help you out. This is the only difference. You can Google people now.
Yeah,
they ask questions back then. My uncle, I told y'all, every single friend that my mom had growing up, any woman that she considered a friend, he has children by her. Why? Come on, nothing different. They just hide their stuff better.
What would y'all consider the perfect first date?
You know what? Can I be honest with you? I'm not trying to be funny.
Keep it real.
Be a perfect first date is sharing an 8-piece with seasoned fries with Bojangles. And no, I'm just
keep real. It's all good. Keep it real.
And just having a conversation about each other. One of the things I found attractive of any woman when they can formulate a sentence Can I be? There's some people I've talked to in my past that couldn't formulate a sentence. They spoke in sentence fragments, and it's like, no, I can't do that. So,
Hey, don't co-sign on that shit. Don't do
it. Yes, Shay.
Now you got all the dudes in the background like, oh snap! I'm hitting her up with the 8-piece. All right.
What about you, AB?
I mean, getting lost in conversation.
I mean, it's fun. Like my first date eons ago was just fun. Like we enjoyed ourselves. We went out, we hung, we chatted. You know, you got to know each other. But like you said, Pastor, to your point, you know, a lot of fun foundations are built a little earlier now because of Snap and because of video. You know, because of so many other ways of communication. You're right. By the time you get together, it's kind of like there's an attraction. You can dig into the weeds and you can talk about other things.
Absolutely.
But you know, like it's just fun. Like I want like, yo, I had a great night. Like, yo, you know, like I enjoyed myself. You know, we could dig into the serious stuff, you know, maybe going forward and sitting down, but like a great first date is just enjoyable. Like, yo, I had fun. It just, we clicked, we joked. She finished my sentences. She laughed at the same dumb stuff I laughed at. You know, like you know, that's a great first date. You know.
You already
my wife, the night my wife and I met, we ended up going on our first date the same night we met.
Right.
Because we went out to breakfast. We met at a club in LA.
Come on.
And hung out that night at the club and ended up going to breakfast after we left the club. And I don't even remember what time we left breakfast and we went home. But we talked all the way through the morning.
Right.
Over, you know, pancakes and eggs and sausage, you know.
When you left that date, what were you thinking?
I'm about to get married.
Yeah.
When I left that date, I'm like, I'm about to get married.
Was it a connection? Was it a conversation?
I was a total connection. Absolutely. You know, we were both in IT, you know, and the thing is, I think, honestly, man, I'm not going to kid you. When I met my wife, I was rude. She handled my rudeness with class.
What?
Right?
Yeah, that's what got me.
Right.
I'm talking about.
Yeah. I was being funny. I was being sarcastic, but it was rude, you know, because I told her she was in my way, you know, and she moved.
She's supposed to be in your way, Boaz.
I know. She was slowing you down on purpose.
You know, like, yeah. So it, you know, we were out and, you know, we went to, you know, we were at a club. My brother invited me out. You know, it was a Friday night.
Nice.
And he called me from the place, man, get off the couch, call my other brother over to let him sit with the children and come over here and meet me, man. Come and have a drink with me. So I got up. I'm laid on the couch. I had fed my children, put them down for the night. I'm laid on the couch, still have my work clothes on, my tie pulled down, and I'm just exhausted. So I get up and I go to this spot after my older brother comes over and sits with my children, and I see my brother, and he's like, man, go get you a drink, you know. And so I go to the bar to get a drink, and my wife is standing there, man. She had on a red dress that literally looked like it was poured.
Red dress.
I just
Lady in red.
Yeah.
He had one of them Charlie Murphy. He had a Charlie Murphy meet Rick James moment.
Hey, looked like she jumped in a pool of red water and got up and the water stuck. Right.
Okay.
So I walked up to her, right, and I didn't know. I'm like, excuse me, it looks like you have a drink. Can you get out of the way so that I can get mine? First words I ever said to my wife. And she looked at me like, okay, and she walked off. And I got my drink, went over to my brother, and then I thought about what I said. I looked at her, and I went over to her and I apologized. I said, here, I'll get you another drink. I said, on two conditions. One, you dance with me. And she goes, what's the second? No, I said, one, you tell me your name. She's like, Christelle. And she goes, what's the second one? I said, the second one is that we have a dance, and we dance. Now, this is what happened. On the dance floor, we're talking. The music is playing, and we're dancing.
All right, Cole.
And I tell her on the dance floor, I have 3 children at home.
Wow. Right.
Right?
Yeah.
I tell them my name. Hey, I'm Brian, and I'm a father of 3, and they're at home.
Right.
You know, straight up. Somebody said, honesty. Yeah, I told her on the dance floor.
Right.
Gotta have it.
And she said, "Oh, Daddy."
Yeah.
Daddy.
I want to ask how she met Daddy, but I don't want to know.
That was it.
Hook, line, and sinker.
Well, was it Daddy or was it Zaddy?
She was dead. She was like, "Oh, Daddy."
You see Big Daddy.
Wow.
I was done.
Women, it don't take much. Women, when we know, we know.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
But see, but that, you know, like that information, yeah, you know, like I
But
got 3
that's the
kids,
thing, like
no
she,
front.
right?
Up front.
She made it clear that I was cool.
Right.
You know.
Right.
And so from there, we just went. We talked.
Right.
And we talked for the rest of the night. I don't even think we danced again. We just talked.
Right.
And then we left there and went to breakfast and talked all through the morning.
Man,
and then I went home because my brother had my car. My brother took my car. I got in the car with her. And yes, she was driving.
What?
Oh, yeah, man.
Yep.
Yeah, Pastor knows the samurai. He knows the way of the samurai.
You got to get married, bro. You don't need to wait. You don't need to be talked away.
Well, no, the thing is, she was not going to give me that power.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Like she was going to drive. She wasn't going to be. She wasn't going to get in the car with me. She was going to put me in the car with her so that she had control of the wheel. That was one of the things. Like that's a whole other story. But anyway, yeah, because you know my wife was
that's
a dominant personality, truly. So that was the first date, and so I think the point is that we talked, and here you fast forward, and we're married. 23 years.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
But those used to make like some of the best dates, man. Like the one
stops here. That's it.
You go somewhere and it didn't turn out, because I think it gives you a chance to just have an honest meetup. You know what I'm saying? Like
the other thing is, but we kept ourselves.
Yeah.
Right.
Right. Now, and this is the thing, like my wife ain't silly. I tell you, and who was that said it? Women know what they're doing, man. Women know what they're doing.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
She found out everything she needed to find out without ever having sex.
Yeah.
Nice.
Right.
Be ready, people. That's right.
Yeah.
And mine is similar to Pastor's. I mean, for me, the most attractive qualities about a woman, obviously, there has to be a physical attraction. That's with men. I think that's a generality. Without being said, there had to be some physical. But aside from that, for me, there's nothing sexier, more attractive than to sit down. Because my favorite two attributes about a woman are the eyes and the smile. So when our conversation naturally causes you to smile a lot, and we can be intellectual, silly, stupid, and not want to quit. It's like when the date goes like that phone call. You guys remember those phone calls where you're on the phone and it's 4:00 in the morning and you get off first. No, you get off first.
No, you hang up.
No, you hang up.
Yeah.
When the date is at that point, like literally, I gotta work at 4:00 in the morning, but I don't want to leave.
Yeah.
Well, what you doing after I get off work type deal? When you get those vibes on a date from the connection, that's what it was. I literally with my current wife when we went on our first date, we went to a park, and we fed ducks. It was the stupidest thing in the world. It was the stupidest thing in the world. But it was one of the most fun things I ever did. Yeah. Like literally, my wife made a video of this date afterward, and I was willing to do anything to spend time with her. And I had just moved to Atlanta, and she lived on the west side. I was living on the east side, and this was back when you guys remember the Pokemon app?
Right.
The Pokemon Go app? Yeah.
Yeah. So we was like, hey, let's meet up somewhere so we can go
Play.
Pokemon.
I mean, you know,
Nice.
as silly as that sound though.
Nice.
And that's where it started.
Yeah.
And the day ended up with her being on my back, me giving her piggyback rides around the park, riding the swings, having conversations, talking about what we messed up on in the past. And I mean, and it naturally flowed there. It wasn't like we had to force the conversation.
Right.
And when you find yourself in a place where everything flows, where nothing is forced, where no traffic has to be directed to get to a place, it's magical.
For me, man, even as we talking about this
Let's
day,
say just a second. Go ahead.
Yeah,
I want to talk about things being like off balance. But like, say what?
He said, men, please don't do things in the beginning you
Beginning
aren't
you're
willing
not
to keep
willing
up.
to keep
Keep them
Exactly.
5, 10,
No, that's
20
right.
years from there.
Yeah.
Some of that stuff get time.
Ladies too.
Yeah. You can't.
That goes the same for women though.
Yeah, she put that at the end.
Yeah.
Ladies too. Ladies
Oh,
too.
okay. I missed that part. I'm like, look,
Oh,
too fast. Like, wait a minute.
But for me, man, as I look back through them years, man, like, and even think about these, how we doing now, there's some things like, bro, I'm straight up ashamed of how I conducted myself. I would have dated way less. There's, and I don't want to put no timestamp on it because my wife watched the show. There was a young lady who I ran into at some point in time throughout life.
Bring it back. Long time ago.
It was so long ago.
Way back in Africa.
And you know, like, I don't know how to really describe it, but like when I saw her, you know, have you ever see somebody and you can't unsee them? Like, you know, they saw you.
Yeah.
So I had to speak, and like I just found myself stumbling through what I'm saying, and she just sitting there looking at me, and I could just see through her eyes like you ain't crap. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. You ran straight game on me, man. Like, and right I'm sitting here with, man, how's life going, man? Right. Hope things are great, you know, hitting all that kind of stuff. And it's just like, because you know I played you, man. You know I talked all that talk to get you, because see, women know what you're doing. You just gotta try to, like, for me, I was like a chameleon, man. Whatever they wanted, I was changing into it. You want the nice guy, there I am. Right. You want me to be rough with you, there I am. You feel me? Like, I was adapting. Yeah, don't listen to these conversations. Don't listen to the elders. But like, I sold her a bill of goods just to get what I want. And I mean, just seeing that person, I'm talking about years later, man, after whatever you want to call it, years later, I mean, just, and she stood there like a soldier, but just, I mean, I saw it in her eyes, man, like, bro.
Hey, you want to know what my biggest fear was?
I want to be like, but I'm saved though. Like, nah.
You want to know what my biggest fear was? E?
What was that?
This was my biggest fear. Being somewhere ministering the gospel.
And they, bro.
And seeing somebody that I know I did dirty.
Bro. That's going to be the shortest sermon ever, bro.
I'm telling you, that was like, I don't fear it anymore, because I realize that I'm not that person. And I lived and I grew and I changed and I matured. Yeah. But that was my biggest fear.
That's real.
Going somewhere and minister, and looking out and like, I don't even remember her name, but
right, bro. Like you just said something, bro. Like, I mean, like, I'm telling you, man, and not to make every guy that way, but there's some. We was out there, bro, and to think about how I'm trying to raise my girls now, and to think about. I'm like you, bro. I shamefully, I got people. I don't even know your name at this point. So it's just like, and all that stuff. The craziest part, and Terry, he got his whole knuckleheads thing going on. I was getting props for that, man. Right. I was being praised for it, and now I'm completely ashamed about it. You know what I'm saying? So it's that when y'all out there dating still, man, y'all keep it, man. Look, I don't envy y'all. I don't want to date ever again.
I'm good. Good.
Because you're gonna be an old man one day.
You
don't see it now, but you're gonna be an old man one day.
Yep, right. And before we wrap it up, so 2 things. I got a little distracted. I messed something up this morning. That's why I had to disappear. I'm gonna take the L on that. So, so 2 things. The first thing, what is it in a brief synopsis? You know, because I know we can all probably go dig into it, but what are we telling our daughters as far as the dating scene? Or I know what have you told or what will you say to your daughters going into dating scene as well as your sons? Let's start with Terry. I know daughter.
Yeah. What I try to tell Zariah, because my girls are grown, Brianna and Nika.
Right.
Speaking of Brianna, shout out to Brianna because I just had my 4th grandson. Thank you, Brianna. And he's perfect, RJ. But what I tell Zariah in my home is that we'll spend time together, and I call her beautiful. I tell her beautiful, so that way she won't get caught up into, hey, Shawty, what's your name? You so it's pretty. You know what I'm saying? I try to give her that and instill that I want to be that first experience of a man for her. Not to sound creepy, but just to let her know that there are good men. I open her doors for her.
Right.
If we go somewhere, just like I do for her mother, I open the doors for her. I let her sit. I don't pull out her chair or anything like that. That's much, but I try to instill in her that you don't have to be talked down to be considered pretty. That's what I tell Zariah. Now, Javante, I try to show him how to be respectful.
Right.
Pull out open doors. I try to be. I have to be the example for them, and so I show him, hey, talk respectfully, open these doors. Let her speak first, or let her do things first. Ladies first. That's kind of the mantra that I teach, or I intend to instill in Javante. Is that ladies first. Let them, show respect. But I just want my daughter to be. I want to be the first experience for her. That way she knows how to be talked to and treated by men.
Right. Okay. E?
Yeah, man, I just try
Thanks, Shay.
to build them up, man.
Right.
Just try to, if I can get them seeing themselves in a high way,
Yeah.
you know what I'm saying? I can eliminate a lot of that. I was going to take the approach of just trying to, tell them every trick of the guys, but if they value themselves, like and I wish I would took that advice. If I would have valued myself, you know what I'm saying? I'm somebody too.
Right.
If I would have valued, you value yourself. It's so much that you won't tie yourself with. You won't put your name with. You know what I'm saying? When you know where you're going, you won't. Right. It's almost like a brand. You won't tie it with it. You know what I'm saying? Right. You're not gonna see Starbucks messing around with Walmart. You know what I'm saying? And no shade to Walmart, but the brands just don't match.
Right.
So just trying to build the girls up, man. Just healthy self-image of them own self.
Yeah. Dwayne?
First of all, what I do will speak way more than what I say. But this is the perfect place to insert the biscuit analogy. Life is men are like a biscuit.
Yes.
And it's a process. You take this raw dough and it's being molded and it's being put into the heat, into the fire. And sometimes just because you want something don't mean it's ready for you to, it's not prepared for you yet. Right. So what happens is a lot of times they take something that looks like it's prepared and is ready, right, and they pull it out too early. And when that happens, you have all types of problems. So my focus with my children, my daughters especially, I got 7 daughters and I got 1 son. So my daughters and my son, the thing is, this is a process, and where you start is not where you finish. So you have to be intentional at every single point along the route.
Okay.
Thank you for that. You too, huh?
Awesome. Pastor?
Mine is really
the fire healing.
telling the truth.
Right, sir.
Right.
I tell my daughters the truth. That's really it. I don't think, I live a life before them. I know that I'm going to be their introduction to man. Right. I understand that I am what I'm supposed to represent, what my daughters are looking for. Right. So that's it. It's simple to me. I feel like as long as I can live a life in front of them,
right.
I think they're going to grow accustomed to what they see in me, what they get from me, and they'll know it when they see it. It's because to me, I think I like what Dwayne said. For me, it's more what you're walking out before them. Right. It's really about just giving them the truth.
Right.
And obviously, you have to treat them treat your daughters as the royalty that they are. If you don't treat them that way, they won't know what it is.
Exactly.
So it's what you do. It's the walk I have with my wife is very, very similar to the walk I have with my daughters.
Amen.
Absolutely.
Some good brothers, man.
So yeah, I think to chime off everybody, yeah, I think it's that example, how you treat your daughter, what you tell your son as far as how to be a head or a covering of his family, and then example, because we all know kids learn more what they see than what you say. You speak all day, but they end up mimicking and taking in a lot of what they see.
Right.
And especially we know, being young, once when what you say and what you do begins to contradict, it invalidates what you're speaking. Like, yeah, all right, but I ain't never seen you do that. Yeah, all right, yeah, all right. Because we know adults be like, all right, yeah, all right, go ahead with that. So I think it's walking it out, and I appreciate you, brothers, because we all are walking it out. And due to my distraction, I couldn't throw my little quote up there, so we can dig into that. But I'm gonna put this up, then we could dig into it maybe on Monday, twist it out. And if anybody's not seen, I posted this earlier.
Yeah, he did.
It said 2 people are dating, and the woman mentioned that she is saving sex for her husband, and the guy's cool with that. Then he mentions that they always go Dutch for dates because he is saving money for his wife. The woman points out that it's not cool that he not take her on dates just because she doesn't want to have sex. He mentions that's not the case at all, but clarified that just like sex, finance should be reserved for his wife. Let that marinate. We're going to revisit that because that's loaded, and that's a whole nother hour.
Yeah.
All right, so
that's it.
We appreciate
You
guys.
roll for that, AD.
Oh yeah. Most definitely. So I appreciate my podcast people for rocking and listening to us and listening all the way through. Thank you so much. All of my people watching. I do not take you guys for granted because there's so many thousands and thousands of shows you could have spent your time watching, but you hung out with us, and I appreciate that.
Time slot, though.
Right. Make sure and listen, if you're not if you haven't liked our Facebook page, make sure you like it, follow, so you can get the notifications when we go live. And we appreciate it. If you're first time here, Shay, I think, is the one name I've not recognized before, so make sure you're following as well. And thank you for contributing to the conversation. All those that are watching, contribute to the conversation. Right, I just gave you a little something to think about. All right. So I appreciate you guys. So make sure today is Thursday, Friday. Listen, tomorrow it is going down. We're going to argue this joint out because we're talking about comedians. We're having the comedic the tournament. So the best comedians. My brother Dwayne Goodson put it together.
Somebody gotta go.
Somebody gotta go.
Man,
and y'all gonna be bad.
They can only be one. They can only be one.
Don't let the greats be on the same side of the bracket.
Oh no.
Cover the spread, bro.
Look, they're gonna have to meet each other at some point.
Right. Eddie Griffin gonna win. Eddie Griffin gonna win.
I promise you this. You won't see Dave Chappelle versus Bernie Mac in round 1.
Okay.
You won't see nothing like that.
Let on YouTube. Eddie on different brackets at least.
Yes. Oh, Shay. So you can watch us on YouTube, The Brothers of Legacy, and on Periscope. While they're still alive. But go to YouTube. Go to YouTube and subscribe. That'd be great. Go to YouTube. Subscribe.
Don't you? What about the podcast, AD? What is the podcast?
Yes, and the podcast, you got Apple or Android, of course, usually one or the other. Go to your podcast app. The Brothers of Legacy are there, and you get to listen on your way to work, on your way anywhere, chilling out in the bathroom. Get your chance to listen to Brothers of Legacy every place you go. All right. Make sure you check us out and share. Let your people know. Send messages. Put it in messages like, listen, I done found these brothers. They're talking some real stuff and not some garbage, not just some hyped up garbage. So that is it. That is all. And that goes for everybody watching and listening. Put us in people messenger. I don't care. Spam them. Spam them.
No, son.
Yes, son. Spam them. All right.
We got that real, son. We got that real, son. We got 5 for 1 here, son.
And put it on the top. Watch this before it's deleted. All right, guys. Appreciate you. Look forward to seeing you tomorrow. Got to show up tomorrow. Got to be here tomorrow. It's going to be an amazing show. All right. Be blessed. Keep pushing. Keep growing. And know that we love you, but God love you more. Stay safe and keep wearing a mask. Peace out. Wait, hold on. Before we go, listen, next week, Tuesday, I know, listen, I never stop it. Tuesday, we're having an epic show, The Sisters of Legacy, at 8:30. It's going to be the brothers and sisters all in the same screen. Drop this dope to, we're going to be talking about covering, and I just dropped it to my brothers like, what? We didn't tell me what we're going to talk about. We're talking about covering your spouse, covering your community as men, and we're going to talk about how that's going to work. All right, peace out. I didn't want to catch that. Good morning. Welcome to another. Good morning.